Imagine owning a Picasso and only paying €100 for it. For one lucky person, that'll soon be a reality thanks to Pablo Picasso's grandson, Olivier, and an unusual charity fundraiser. 50,000 raffle tickets are up for grabs for a chance to win this piece. It's called The Man with the Opera Hat. It's a cubist work that Picasso did nearly 100 years ago, and his signature, a little difficult to see, is jotted across the upper right-hand corner. Tickets are going fast online. 40,000 so far have been bought by people with Picassos in their eyes. And the proceeds are all for a cause that you might not expect: protecting the ancient Phoenician city of Tyre in Lebanon. Tyre was devastated during the 15-year Lebanese civil war. Its many ancient monuments have been damaged beyond repair. And let's not forget, Tyre features prominently in our earliest civilization, 80 mentions in the Bible alone. The money raised will give the ancient city a new art center and a scholarly institute. Picasso's grandson, Olivier, is the force behind this raffle. He believes his grandfather, a pioneer in every aspect of his work and his life, would love the idea of this first, as in, never has a major work of art by such a major artist ever changed hands like this before. And this week I sat down with Olivier here in New York as he travels with the work just ahead of the raffle being drawn, which is later this month. Welcome, Olivier.
Welcome, thank you.
We're going to talk about the work that you are raffling for charity, and it's sitting right here. I have to say, it's kind of weird to be in the presence of a Picasso.
It's always something bizarre because it's different from a book. When you're in contact with something that my grandfather, that Picasso, touched, it's really a different feeling.
Is it real?
It's real, for sure. Yes.
How much is it worth on the open market?
This very specific artwork is worth something like $1 million.
$1 million?
Yes. So it's really something serious.
This artwork is called Man with an Opera Hat?
Yes.
What is it? What is the significance of it?
The importance of this work is because it's the second part of the Cubism period of my grandfather. It's what we call the synthetic Cubism, when he was trying to represent objects and figures with colors, in this case, to replace the perspective. And in this case, it's important because we are in 1914.
Nearly 100 years ago, this is.
Nearly 100 years ago, yes.
This is really valuable. It's really meaningful in art history.
It's something that normally you find in a museum.
And somebody is going to get it having paid $100 or so for a raffle ticket.
Yes, it's...
Doesn't it blow your mind a little bit?
I don't think it's a chance. It's a wonderful opportunity to have a Picasso for €100, $135. And for the rest of the people who will buy a ticket, it will be a chance to help the city of Tyre. So in both ways, it's a good action.
Why Tyre? Why have you decided to take one of these wonderful, valuable works of art and do something extraordinary with it on behalf of a city in Lebanon that not many people know about? Why?
You know, I'm French. I'm not primarily concerned by Lebanon or Tyre, but I understood the importance of this city. First, it's a Phoenician city, which is probably the origin of our Western world civilization.
Phoenician?
Phoenician. It's always difficult to maintain an ancient city. So not only because of the architecture, but also because of the people living there. And the city of Tyre has been damaged by military problems, wars, and today, beside of the restoration of the architecture, is also important to preserve the traditions.
So your friends who had this idea and this association, they said, he's Picasso, maybe we can get a Picasso out of him.
It was a different story. My friend Perry Cochin, who is in charge of the operation, came to me thinking that organizing a dinner, a charity dinner, was boring and always the same type of thing. So she came up with the idea to make a raffle and to put a Picasso as a winning prize. And when she told me this idea, I was wondering, it will be very difficult.
Are you an artist? Did you inherit any of Picasso's genes?
No, it's difficult. You know, I've tried, but it's easy to be a banker after a banker, but to be a Picasso after Picasso, it's really difficult.
That's really well said. Did you know him? Did you ever meet him?
No, I was too young. So he was part of the family. I mean, part of my life as a child, with paintings on the walls and drawings and photos. But I just realized how much it was important the day he died, because I discovered my grandfather on television.
Like?
Like discovering that he had many women, and discovering that he was supposed to be a communist, but also a billionaire, that he was someone old and not cherishing his friends and family. And in fact, it took me years to discover the truth.
You talked about how you were surprised by, you learned that he had many women. Well, one of those women was your grandmother,
yeah.
Marie-Thérèse Walter.
Mm-hmm.
What was she like? What did she tell you about your grandfather? What was her relationship with him?
I remember her because she was visiting us very often, and she was exactly the same as you can see in the paintings, that blonde woman. She was a simple woman, but she had only one love in her life. It was Picasso. So for me, as a child, it was nothing special. But now I realize how much it was a big thing. In fact, when he met her on that January 27 of 1927 in front of the Galeries Lafayette in Paris, she was 17, he was 46. And he told her, "Mademoiselle, I would like to make your portrait." She said, "You and I, we're going to make great things together." She probably didn't know what's going to happen. And it's true that today, when you look at the auctions, like a month ago in New York, Marie-Thérèse is at the top of the list. The record price paid for a Picasso on a private sale, it's a Marie-Thérèse.
And then when he died in 1973,
yeah.
What happened to your grandmother?
Oh, when he died, I realized later that my grandmother has lost a link to the exceptional life. She was now back to ordinary daily life, and 4 years later she killed herself.
Had he already done Guernica?
Yes, and there is a possible true story about that, with a Nazi officer who came to his atelier.
A Nazi?
A Nazi, and show him a postcard representing the Guernica painting. And he asked my grandfather, "Is it you who did this?" And my grandfather said, "No, it's you." Which is an interesting story, and I think it's true.
Olivier Picasso, thank you very much indeed for joining me.
Thank you.